Hey guys, so today I thought I'd share a little project I've had for about a year now, and I call it the EDM Artist Collaboration Graph. Well, technically here it says EDM Music Collaboration Chart, but either way it gets the point across, and it's not really an original name, but um, I can't really think of what else to call it. So, what this graph basically is, it's basically a graph that's showing every like collaboration relationship between all the EDM artists that are on the graph right now. So if I hover on the dot, let's say Pixel Terror, you can see all the artists on the graph that have collaborated with Pixel Terror, and you can see that we have like Pixel Terror, Ace Aura, with their like newest release. I think is if I remember, Arcadia and Pixel Terror, Spaghetti, and Pixelterra and Chime, and you can do this with every other node, and because each node is an artist, and so every time you hover on one, you could isolate the artist that it's collaborated with on the graph. So this is a easy way to see like what artists and an artist has kind of collaborated with. And the cool thing is, this graph is like the relationship between all of these. So it's very fun to just see like how many relationships there are, and like to choose two different artists and see how many like collaboration chains you would need to get to one. Like if I try to see like how many lines it would take for me to get to Kotori to Slander, there's no way for the graph to actually like do that. But so this is just a game that you could kind of play, like the Kotori to Asora, Asora collaborate with Crankdad, and Crankdad's collaborate with Slider. So that's, yeah, four. That's actually way less than I thought. So that's cool. Um, as you can see, each node is colored by a kind of like a category that I have. It's a bit arbitrary because none of these categories are set in stone, but the green ones here are like artists that I've are mainly associated with Monster Cat, and like I think mainly released on Monster Cat. Although of course a lot of the other colored dots have also released on Monster Cat, so it's definitely not like a clear cut category. And then the orange ones here, these are what I call the color base artists. The purple ones are more melodic dubstep, but not color base. And then the gray ones here are artists that have released in Never Say Die. Of course, Never Say Die doesn't exist anymore. Rest in peace. But when I did make this chart, they did still exist. So um, that's why they're great. And the brown ones here are Disciple, and this is kind of a mistake that I made, in that I kind of made like two categories for Pro 7 dubstep for some reason. So even though like most of these artists like make Pro step, and the thing about this is you can't. The thing about this website is you cannot change the type of node once you've made the node, and it's the one fault I would have with this website, which has otherwise been like really good for making this sort of graph. Yeah, so like if I wanted to recolor like to merge these two nodes together, but like there was no easy way to do that. If I were to do that, I'd have to delete every single node and then draw all the connections again, which would take a very long time. So I'm not gonna do that. You could do that if you try and make your own graph. Yeah, and then I have some other categories. Um, mainly just like vocalists. Honestly, like the vocalist categories, they can get like they have really long lines because like as a vocalist, you can collaborate with like um, you know, lots of different types of EDM. And I guess the longer the line is, like the more disconnected like that collaboration is, or the more unexpected, you could say. And you can see like there are like several clusters here. Like this is like kind of the color base cluster, which is close to the melodic dubstep cluster, which kind of makes sense. And over here, this is a pretty dense spot. This is what I call like just the bro step cluster. Um, because like a lot of artists here have collaborated with each other, and so it gets like really easy to like um for a dot to be here. What is Astronaut doing here? Yeah, Astronaut has a barely alive collab, and the Far Side collab. And even though they don't make like bro step, they're like here. That's kind of funny. Yeah, there are tons of these little quirks that like you could kind of figure out. You could see what artists like do a lot of collabs, what artists don't really do much. Like maybe you could see like Hellberg. He doesn't really like collaborate with anyone else other than like other house artists. And yeah, this is like really cool. Um, yeah, so I've left a link in the description for you to play with. And honestly, you could like do so much with this information. I'm not a data analyst as much as I like to be, and I'm also not like a really good. I'm not a professional mathematician, so but I like and I don't know how to download this chart in order to perform any actual analysis on it. You could do some analysis with this button here. You click it, and then like um, there are some things you could do with it. One of them is like clustering, which I think what it does is that it colors like regions of the graph depending on which artist is kind of anchoring the graph, and therefore the artists with this color are more likely to collaborate with each other than any artist outside. So I think that's what it is. And then you could add, I think centrality is another kind of attribute you could explore. And according to this website, Chime is the most central one, which kind of makes sense because Chime has collaborated with just so many artists over the years, and they're all really great collabs. So you can see like this is a lot of collaborations. 28. So yeah, I would like to point out though that like this graph isn't 100% accurate. I hope it's at least 99% accurate, but it can't be 100% accurate because about like I have 269 nodes, so that's 269 artists, and I can't really well check each one very thoroughly. I have already tried to check each one thoroughly, but like there's certainly like a collab or two that I've missed, and also this is not an exhaustive list at all. So the criteria for me putting a dot here is usually like if it has like two or more artists here that it's collaborated with, I'll add it. But it can't just be one collaboration because otherwise there'd just be tons and tons of lines that are just connected to like one dot, which isn't that useful when you compare it to like mutual collaborations. So yeah. But if you want to make a graph like that, you could totally do that like with this website. And there's definitely some artists that like have collaborated with at least two artists on here. But like the thing is I haven't noticed them yet. So if you do, or if you have any suggestions about this graph or something you'd like to see me do with it, leave it in the comments below. Or you can just go to this website and try to see what you can do with it. I would definitely appreciate it very much. So yeah, this is my EDM artist collaboration chart. I think it looks pretty cool. It's very messy, of course. It's really very messy. And if you want to like make it a bit clearer, you could always just click on a node and like drag it, because sometimes like these lines intersect where there shouldn't be. Like this one suggests that like Jaws has had a collab with Vest Green, but they haven't. It's just that like the dot is in the position, so you could just drag it like here to make it a bit clearer. But with so many lines, it's hard to like get a version that like doesn't have any intersecting lines or nodes. Yeah. So that's it. This is the EDM artist collaboration chart, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Enjoy.